Hello there. I am Ricky Church for Flickering Myth, and I'm here with voice actor George Buza, who played Beast in the awesome 1990 series X-Men and is returning for the upcoming X-Men 97. So thank you, George, for being here and speaking with us. How are you?
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right. The X-Men series, the original, like I said, it's such a beloved series, especially for like people my age, because I have fond memories of my brother and I waking up in the morning. First thing we'd watch is the X-Men series. So, what is that like legacy of the show and just like its fandom mean to you?
Well, it's one of the most valuable things that I take away from my own career here. I mean, we were never aware of how much impact our performances had on people's lives or how much the show meant to people back when it was airing. And it wasn't until we did our very first convention when Eric and Julia Leewald wrote their book previously on X-Men and then gathered a bunch of us for our very first reunion at a Comic Con in New Braunfels, Texas. And it was here that we actually experienced what the show meant to people back then. And it was probably one of the most touching things. And I've been acting now since 1971, so that's like 53 years.
Mhm.
And I don't think anything has meant as much as the fans showing their appreciation for what you did on a TV series. I mean, it's a valuable thing to take away.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I said, it was an awesome series, and I and many others have like such fond memories of it. And of course, you played Beast. So how did you like perform Beast? What was your kind of thought process, or like what does Beast mean to you personally as well after all these years?
Well, I identified with Beast because as a kid, I was bullied in elementary school. I was overweight. I came from the Eastern European countries. It was post World War II. And so there was a lot of bullying that went on in the schoolyard. And it made things kind of difficult for me. And then when I encountered Beast, there was a lot of continuity in his being an outcast and my having been an outcast when I was a kid. So there was a connection there, and also the fact that he was this big blue guy that used his intellect to
Mhm.
try and overcome situations that would be violent, and he would always try and smooth over a situation before he jumped in. And this was something that I did as well because I learned very early that when I was bullied, if I reacted, I wasn't always the one who was going down.
Yeah.
And so I realized that as a big guy, I could do some damage. And so I always tried to smooth over a situation and avoid any kind of confrontation as much as I possibly could. But if I had to, I could stand my ground. I took that away with me as well and injected that into the show. So there was a lot of connection between me and the big blue guy.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's like you said, Beast. He's unlike the other X-Men, except for maybe like Charles Xavier, where like he's very sophisticated, he's very proper, and he does try to talk first and like reason with people before like entering into a fight. I remember it's like the first or second episode where like Magneto tries breaking him out of prison, and he's like, oh no, like I'm on trial, I'm gonna stay here and show people that uh we mean no harm, and the only way to do that is if I stay put and stand my trial. I found that a very profound moment, like for right at the start of the series too, just to show you how different X-Men was going to be compared to other animated series back then.
Well, see, this is something that we can thank the fabulous team of writers for, is that they didn't want to make a cartoon that was just silliness or action. There had to be something behind it. And so there was a very noble element that went into every word that was written on those pages. And that's what made the show stand out so much from every other show that was on TV at the time. It dealt with issues that were current and are even relevant today, even more so than back then. You know,
Hmm.
when I was in university and a hippie, basically, we thought we were going to change the world, and this isn't what we had envisioned. What the
Hmm.
world is today, and so I think X Men is even more relevant than it was in the '90s.
Yeah. Yeah, because they've been around since the 60s, the X-Men,
I
and
remember, yes.
yeah, and it's yeah, their relevancy just seems to like keep being significant because their themes have remained like so powerful from like the comics or the animated series to the movies. Um, so what do you think like you touch on it a little bit with the relevancy. What do you think like the X-Men means to like its huge fandom?
Well, acceptance, uh, being able to recognize that everybody is different and everybody is unique, and that we all have to live together. This is our home doesn't end at the end of our street. Our home is this entire planet. And if we don't look after it, it's not going to be here for us in the same state that we leave it.
Mhm.
And the fact that we still can't get along after all the wars that have been fought, all the discord that has taken over the world, we still can't get it together. And that's something that the X-Men preaches in every single episode, is that we've got to be able to live together. We've got to be able to get along.
Yeah, and of course you're coming back for X-Men 97. Um, so what does that feel like for you to like enter back into the world of X-Men like almost like 25, 30 years later after the original series ended? What can you tell fans to look forward to about like this new chapter of the show and
Oh,
of your role as Beast?
well, my role as Beast continues very much in the same vein as where we left it, which was the aim of the new production, is to pick up where we left off. Now, what people can look forward to is animation that looks better than ever because the technology has improved so much. I was blown away by the vividness and the color and the texture of the animation when I saw the scenes. I've only seen a few things that we did in ADR when we fixed up some of the dialogue, but we saw little snippets of the show, and it looked spectacular. And I know from reading the scripts that we were given, we're already, I think, pretty much completed recording the second season. The
Nice.
scripts were fabulous. I mean, it was just
Mhm.
like reading the original ones back in the '90s, where you couldn't put it down. You wanted to see what was going to happen, and when you got to the end of the show, you could hardly wait for the next one to come out because you wanted to know where that was going. So it was just as exciting, even more so because you didn't think about all those years. You say, "Oh, I wish X-Men would come back," because you were busy with your career. You were busy
Yeah,
doing other
and
things.
you're reunited with a lot of the original cast too.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for speaking with us, George. I'm very much looking forward to X-Men 97. And again, enjoyed the original show. Thank you so much for your input and your work on it. It's fantastic.
thank you.